there's a huge, I mean, a lot of the stuff around here in Seattle that you'll record for, like Nintendo, Microsoft, and a lot of the commercial stuff they do locally is going to be unionized. I don't know if that's under the SAG or after umbrella because they still separate the projects, even though the same company has, I don't know, it's weird. You'll still see like an after project or a SAG project, even though it's all SAG after. And I think it was just kind of a
Probably just haven't changed the paperwork.
Probably not. But it pays better. Most video games are going to be union. You'll get, like I said, they pay into your benefits for health and pension, stuff like that. And a lot of what you'll make freelance is not taxed if you're non-union. So what you have to do at the end of the year is you always have to like put at least half your paycheck for every project you get into the bank. So when you get taxed, like I just paid taxes and it was an exorbitant amount from what I made last year.
Well, I mean, geez, for taxes this year, we're going into taxes now.
Yeah, but it's an important aspect of the union.
Tell the taxes if you had to. But yeah, I made, for my 4-hour-a-week job, I made like, I'm not going to say exactly how much I made, but I made maybe 2 or 3 times more than I made in freelance work for doing voiceover, and I still had to pay back. So self-employment tax is a killer.
Yeah, which is one benefit.
You can deduct a lot.
You can.
A lot of stuff, like movie tickets and
Yeah,
video game research and, you know.
Yeah, I deducted my TV. Like, I bought a TV last year and I was just like, well, that's research, so. PlayStation 4 was awesome. Yes.
I can't talk about mine.
It's recording right now.
It's recording right now, and it hasn't been announced yet. Hopefully soon. But it's
about why it's hard.
It's hard because it's a lot of vocal exertion for me, and I'm not used to that. And mostly it was vocally exerting, not only because I have to like, you know, do a lot of loud things, but because when I recorded it, they were on a pretty tight schedule because there were some things that happened, so they were a little late with that character in particular. But I was recording for like a week and a half, at least 3 times, 3 hours every day, and some days they had me going in for like, you know, all together total of 4 hours or 5-hour session, and doing something that's really vocally exerting for that amount of time is just a killer on your throat when you don't get like true breaks. I mean, as far as like, you know, a day in between to rest up. So it's been rough, but I think it'll be worth it in the end, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, mine's kind of been the same thing for the same reasons. It was probably a tie between Haru and Ryuji. Haru mostly because he was a higher pitched character, and I had to do a lot of screaming and battle scenes with him in that pitch, and it was just so much fighting and so much yelling because it's Yukikaji, and if they need anybody to yell or cry, they get him. But the thing is I also work daytime as a captioner for live broadcast, and that's how I make my money to survive, because let's face it, anime is not going to pay the bills for some time to come. And what I do there is I actually talk into a microphone, and vocal transcription software will, in real time, send out captions to C-SPAN and Bloomberg as they're going. So it's live captioning when you're at a bar and see the delayed captions, that's usually us. But it requires me to talk for up to 4 hours a day in an 8-hour shift, which is about the capacity of the human voice should be able to take in a day. And then I go straight to the studio from there and then do these voices and just start yelling and screaming. And for the same reason, Ryuji was probably difficult, not because he was so intense and so much yelling, but because it was such a dialogue-heavy show, and the scripts were about 50% longer than any script I had ever worked on before, and me and the female lead, I think I just revealed some things about myself there.
Well, you did say you had boobs earlier.
Yeah, well, that was mostly the donuts. So me and the female lead would share about 50% of all the dialogue, because it wasn't action-oriented, it was just very story and character-driven. So for that reason, it was very hard to go to after talking for so much during the day. And I think I grew out my voice like every day while doing this, and I had to be in the booth every day for a month to do it at a time. And yeah, it was difficult, but it was. I think it was worth it in the end.
Especially because you were working on Magi and
Toradora at the same time, yeah. And then I had an Inazuma 11 come in during that, and then I had another video game that hasn't been released yet during that. I think at one point I was working on 5 simultaneous projects. Yeah, and now I'm working on like 1. Yes.
Yeah, in the rent.
Do you find there's a rivalry between the LA studios and the Texas studios?
Not so much. I mean,
Everyone's pretty good. I mean, Chuck's from Texas. I mean, I've seen Chuck. He's like the nicest guy I've ever met.
Friendly rivalry,
Friendly-
competitive.
maybe for the licensing portion of it, I wouldn't say for the actors, because you will find a lot of actors from Funimation move out to LA after a while, and they will still fly back to Funimation because they just love working for them. Sometimes Funimation will meet LA actors like Bryce Papenbrook and people that they will just want to bring out.
As far as friendly rivalries, I'm sure people joke about it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I went up for this role, you know, and you got it, you jerk.
Yeah.
I think, I feel like maybe I've joked about it. I think I joke about Mark Evans kind of with you every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Mark Evans
oh,
from Inazuma 11.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a little boy that I auditioned for, and you got it? You're not a girl. Why are you wasting a 10-year-old boy, you loser? That's my job.
What's funny is that
My
the
money.
original voice for Mark Evans was the voice of Naruto, actually. Yeah, it was the voice of Naruto, and I think it was done by a female as well in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Taki Fujunko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I thought that was really funny. Yes.
A question about using the voice or not working the voice. Do you have to study the use of your body muscles like singer?
Absolutely.
That would be a good idea. I should do that actually. I haven't done that.
Absolutely. In fact, I've heard yoga really helps because it helps with breathing and just kind of being centered and everything. And just, you really have to place it well. You really have to be aware of where you're speaking from and where you're breathing from. Always want to breathe from the stomach, not from the chest. You want to make sure you're not speaking from the throat because that's how you develop nodules. You have to figure out if you're going to be your head voice or lower voice. Don't constrict. You really have to be aware of everything and proper vocal care, which I don't practice too well because I have allergies and I should mitigate it as best as I can. But
I don't particularly pay too much attention to the placement. I just kind of like let it go, and wherever it comes from, it comes from, which is probably not the best idea. But usually for my vocal care, for this latest project especially, and I was recording a video game at the same time, I drink a lot of tea with honey. Try to avoid sugar in my tea. Usually I'm like, I can't drink straight tea. I like to sugar it up because I've got an insatiable sweet tooth. But there's a lot of tea involved, a lot of water. You want to keep yourself very hydrated because you don't want to dry up, especially when you're swimming. And there's this syrup that you chug apparently.
I do not chug. I do not chug.
Really?
Alex is spreading lies about that.
They just say you can take it, you just slurp it.
I
I use a spoon. But it's
Sometimes I do
Chinese.
that, yeah, but it's called, be prepared to write this down because I don't think you'll ever remember it. It's called Minjiom Pei Pa Koa.
I think you can just search Chinese cough syrup.
Chinese cough syrup,
on
yeah.
And it'll pop up.
And you can find it at the Ranch Market, which we have one here, I think on Aurora in Mount Lake Terrace, in the tea aisle. It's this herbal supplement with honey and loquat, and it really coats the voice, the throat very well. I don't know how it works, but you just take a spoonful of it or mix it in your tea, and you could be yelling for an hour, take a swig of this, and keep going.
It's
I think it kind of numbs the voice, so it's not like a permanent thing, but
Yeah.
it just kind of helps you. It's like a steroid almost to get you through the day.
it tastes like cherry cough syrup.
Yeah. I like it. It's kind of
Okay,
sugary. It's
it's
sugary.
not the worst I've had.
Is it antifungal? Is that what you've been?
Maybe. It's got a lot of different ingredients in it. It's a natural herbal supplement.
Is there like an English ingredient list?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
written in Chinese.
Yeah, it's on the side. It's got a little bit of menthol in it. It's got honey, loquat, just this whole list of ingredients.
doing warm-ups because I know a lot of people do, especially because I hadn't been working as nearly as often as I have been lately. So I'm just like, I don't need vocal warm-ups. I just go in and do it, you know, whatever. But lately, I think I need to start doing that. But I sing. Like I like to sing. I'm not good, but I like to sing to kind of like loosen myself up.
And I come from a theater background where we would all do like group warm-ups, so I just kind of carry those with me. So in the car, I'll be doing tongue twisters. I'll just be kind of humming, just hey, kind of opening up the throat, accenting that, and a little bit of singing. Like sometimes I will put on Metallica's Symphony Metallica record, and I'll play the Ecstasy of Gold and start vocalizing to it. Oh, kind of just to hit the ranges and stuff. And I picked that up from Metallica themselves. They had a documentary where I saw James Hetfield doing that, so kind of adopted it. Was that-
Can you do an example of a tongue twister?
Tongue twister? Yes. Let's see here. One of my favorites is to sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock and a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the cessation of a short, sharp shot from a cheap and chopper on a big black block. That's my favorite one to do.
I can't do those. I don't do tongue twisters because my tongue literally gets twisted and it's not pretty to get rid of. Anything
All right,
else?
we got about, I think, 10 minutes. Yeah, we got the 10
Little
minute
less.
mark. A little less, yeah. Any other questions? Anyone?
Anything?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You got the role. It's for Erik, sorry.
That's okay.
You got the role of Lucy, and the show had already been released for several years before they decided to do a dub. Did that change anything for you, or did that have an effect on your performance?
Not so much. I mean, this is their first dub ever, and we really kind of approached this as a clean slate. We didn't want to approach this as any kind of comparison to before. They really worked hard on making this sound as good as it possibly can.
Yeah, because they want like good reception. on
Well,
it.
yeah.
It's their first thing.
This is it's I'm sure they're about as nervous about it as I am, because this is a huge show. This is the one show that they had in their licensing pool that people were asking for a dub most of all. And I was really shocked to even be a part of it, because I didn't. Even the director came up to me at dinner we had dinner one time, and he's just like, yeah, when I heard you were the voice, even I was just like, really? And I was thinking, yeah, I thought so too, because Ryuji's deeper than anything I've ever done before. I thought I was going to get Kitamura more than anything. So it was really cool that they really took that risk and were willing to do that, even though this was something, that is already a risk. It's going into the dub market. They've done it before with video games, so they've got a little bit of a hand in it, but it's a whole different process now. Yeah.
What's your favorite episode of
17
17.
is usually your go-to episode.
Yeah. I know.
Very much a heart-wrencher. Episode 17 of the second season is also a heart-wrencher. I don't know what it is with episode 17 in the series, but
It's the 11th hour number, yes.
yes. The first season, I can't. I know one of my favorite scenes. I forget which episode it is, but when Hakuryu freaks out on everybody, he's like, "Oh, you guys are stupid. You're all stupid. Oh, I hate all of you." It's just so funny because everybody's trying to cheer him up, like, "Calm down. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it." He's like, "No, get away from me, you short little freak. You strong Amazon woman." I forget what he calls Alibaba.
Yeah, like every single person that tries to comfort him, he hits a nerve. Like he just pinpoints
Yeah.
their button.
That one's funny. But the second season, I don't remember what episode it is, and I don't want to spoil too much. But there's a scene in a boat. Like they're like doing some, I don't know what it's called, but they're talking. Alibaba and Aladdin are talking to two other characters. Better view, so I don't want to spoil any appearances. But they're talking to these people, and Aladdin is kind of feeling like down on himself, and it ends up going back to a lot of the stuff that Alibaba was down on himself for in the first season. So they kind of flash back to that and bring that back up, and it's this time it's Alibaba sharing up Aladdin and reminding him of all these things that
That's
happen.
cool.
And it's a very touching moment. I actually cried because it's just friendship is Magi. It's just it was so sweet and I loved it and I can't wait to dub it now that we're doing this. I'm so
Yeah, I'm
excited.
excited to do the second season. I'm
It's
excited to see
great.
these moments.
It's really good.
Yeah, and like I said, episode 17, because that was probably the one I put just so much into with that scene and with the scene. It just was really, really tough. And like I said before, you know, you do these lines individually one at a time. You stop in between each line. So I'm really working hard trying to keep the momentum of the emotion going through line to line when we're taking these breaks for the director to give me a direction or something. It's like, no, okay, I'll take the direction, but I'm just gonna keep focused. God dang, this is so difficult. And then it just got to the point where it was like this 1 minute long crying scene where I'm holding the scene and I'm just crying. I probably spoiled it for you guys, but this is the first season, so
Well,
they showed the episodes, yeah. So.
premiere episodes like
Yeah. But no, so I'm just holding the scene and my character's crying for like a whole minute, just full on out, and I'm just, it was one take, thankfully. We got it done in one take, full thing, no edits, no cuts or anything like that. And it just took so much out of me, and I was very proud of it at that point.
Yeah,
Knew
very
that,
well.
yeah, it turned out, and knew that even before the episode aired, that was going to be my favorite episode.
Yeah, time
For one more question.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Bueller.
Yes.
Have you gone out into Seattle?
What was that?
Have you gotten out into Seattle?
Gone out into Seattle, not
You
quite.
live here.
I live here, yeah.
Or
I've
you lived here.
once.
I haven't, like, my liaison's been asking me, like, do you want to go, like, not even my liaison, like, other people's liaisons are like, do you want to go see anything while you're here? Like, we've got a lot of good food places, there's the industrial district, there's the Space Needle, there's, like, this thing, and I'm like, you know, like,
We're
not
also
really
not
much
that
to-
much time either.
that too, there hasn't been much time to really go anywhere other than food places.
Yeah. We have a little bit of a break after the thing today, so we're probably going to hit up GameWorks or, yeah.
GameWorks isn't, like, scale-based, though.
No,
I
but
think GameWorks is
still.
like-
Or maybe I might head down to Pike Place later or something.
I'm not really much of a touristy person. I'm just, especially when I'm at conventions. Like I've been to Baltimore and LA, of course, and
Yeah.
Chicago and Ohio and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I just want to enjoy the convention, just walk around and take pictures of cosplayers and browse the dealers hall and eat. You know, I like eating. I've been to some good food places so far. So there's some good food here.
Usually I like to stick around the conventions as well and meet new people because my job, I work 3:30 a.m. to noon, Friday through Tuesday, and I go to sleep at like 8 o'clock and we'll do voiceover in the afternoon. So my social life's been kind of cut down, and these are good times for me to meet new people and make new friends. So that's what I really like to take advantage of when I have the free time to do so. Yep, and I think that should be, that should be it. So thank you guys very much
Like,
for coming out.
sticking with us.
Yeah,
too.
staying
I'm pretty sure most people actually stayed, and I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah.
For us,
Sorry
you
to
know,
bore you.
not
This
Todd
is-
Abercorn or
Yeah.
Matt Mercer or anything. So thank you so much,
Thank you
guys.
for indulging us. This is our first convention doing something like this,
Yeah.
so
Thank
thank you
you.
for helping out.
Enjoy the rest of your con.
Absolutely.